In this video, we show how to convert an existing agent from on-premises to SaaS. Note that the demo only covers TLS SSL enabled agents, either version 21 or version 24. For legacy agents, or agents that do not support native TLS, an extra step is required. You'll need to deploy an additional agent called the TLS Gateway, which provides CP services. In the case of a conversion, we are not downloading a pre-configured agent, which would entail a fresh install and loss of our INI configurations. As a result, we need the authentication package. For this reason, we'll create a new agent in AWI Client 0, obtain the package, and the agent will be able to connect and set TLS parameters at start time. Before starting the agents, we'll need to modify a number of parameters in the INI. We go over each of them and the type of change that's required. This approach is different from the new agent install. This time we have an agent currently connected to an on-premises automation engine. We want to stop and disconnect this agent so as to discontinue operations locally and then reconnect it to SaaS so that ops can resume. This method is consistent with conventional agent configuration. Technically, we don't need to create a new agent in AWI, which is a requirement for new agents only. However, we do need the initial authentication package, or the agent will be able to establish the initial connection to the JCP. And so we create a new agent in AWI with the same name as the existing one. Alternatively, you could just as easily retrieve the authentication package with the REST API. In this case, there's no need to create an agent to initiate the download, as long as authentication is set to local in UCAS settings. We'll come back to this. Then we download the authentication package and store it anywhere in our system, it doesn't matter. Then we can remove the new agent from the AWI admin page. Note that technically you do not need to delete an agent object. The converted agent will simply make that connection automatically. We'll do it, but only to show the connection being reestablished for learning purposes. We reconfigure the INI file. A number of settings need to be updated and we'll go over them. We clear the contents of the /bin/security directory. There are security files there that will prevent your agent from establishing that initial connection. We stop the agents, the connection to on-premises AE is ended, and processes are no longer automated against the system or application. We start the agents, the initial connection is established with the JCP endpoints. Finally, we re-authenticate. You're up and running. You don't need to adhere strictly to this particular sequence. This one does minimize downtime. The agent INI file contains configuration parameters that need to be updated. The system name needs to be set to the SaaS system name. This information is given to you when you receive the onboarding email. If you don't have it, but you already have an agent enabled in SaaS, simply access that agent's last report in the monitoring functions. You'll find the system name there. Note that if you're going to request a system name change, you must do it at the very start of the conversion process. Any configuration work performed prior to this decision will be irreversibly lost, since a name change requires the provisioning of a new database. We have a CP equal setting. If there's information in there, it needs to be removed. The connection equal setting needs to be set to the JCP endpoint given to you in the onboarding email. The initial package equal setting. When you've downloaded the authentication key package from AWI, you'll need to enter the name and path here. The physical location of the package is irrelevant, it's only needed on first connection. The trusted cert folder equal setting. This stores the path of the TLS certificate required by the agent and other components to authenticate with the JCP and encrypt communications. This is no longer needed and can prevent a successful connection. You should clear it if it isn't empty. The same goes for the key password equal setting and for the exact same reasons. Finally, at the bottom, you may have information about potential JCPs in the JCP list section. This is especially true for agents installed with a one installer. Set this to the JCP endpoints. We start with two AWI connections. One is an on-premises, where an agent is currently talking to AE. The other is SaaS. We're going to disconnect the agent and reconnect it to SaaS. This is our agent. Let's check to see if it started and then stop it on the command line. The agent is indeed started. Let's stop it. Then we'll head to the SaaS AWI page and start converting it. We create a new agent so that we can download the authentication key and authenticate the converted agents. Note that as long as the authentication variable in UCAS settings is set to local, then the package is the same for all agents. As a result, you could download the authentication package with the REST API and it would work fine. On the other hand, if the variable is set to local remote, then the package is unique to each agent, and you will need to follow the procedure described in this video. As we've already explained, there's no need to create a new agent object in AWI. We did so because it's the simplest approach if you're not familiar with the REST API, but you could also obtain the key or package with the REST API. This is what we should do. If this isn't clear, we recommend checking the documentation, specifically the pages on REST API and Swagger UI. Look for authentication package. The syntax is simple. You can run a get with the API URL. Don't forget the /AE/API/v1. Then the client/system/agents/authentication_package. This produces a number of character strings separated by /n. In the example we'll show in a moment, we have 7 character strings. 6 are 32 characters long and the 7th has 2 characters. You copy the entire block of text into a simple file called package.txt, which you'll place in the bin directory of the agents and reference in the INI. You remove the double quotes and substitute the /n with returns so as to produce a block of text. This is our example. In a browser, we enter the REST API URL, which produces several character strings separated by /n. We copy the text in package.txt and separate each string with a return. The package can be found in your download folder if you're using default browser settings. Let's update the INI file. The agent name does not need to be changed, and you should not do so for reasons that should be obvious. When you reinitiate operations in the target SaaS clients, your job definitions are mapped to this agent. Changing the agent name means processes will no longer be automated. On the other hand, the system name must be updated to the SaaS system name. This is found in the onboarding email you received, and you can obtain it from the last report of an agent that's already switched over and connected to AE. Note that you have the option of requesting your SaaS system name to match your current on-premises one. Remove all references to CP connections. We're no longer using these, and they could prevent you from successfully connecting to SaaS. Use the connection setting to set the JCP endpoint URL. We reference the downloads directory where the downloaded package is stored. Remove the information for trusted cert folder and the password. This would prevent the agent from connecting. Finally, at the end of the file, remove current references to the JCP and replace with the JCP endpoint URL. Next, we have certificate information in the /bin/security directory. We need to remove all the files in that directory. We've downloaded the initial authentication package and referenced in the INI. We can delete the temporary agent in AWI. At this point, you would move the agent to client 100 and start it. We'll bypass the move, it's straightforward. We will, however, start the agent in client 0 to make sure everything is working as it should. Finally, we authenticate the agent. The agent has been converted. You can see the certificates being generated in order for TLS connections to be established. Do not forget to enable authorizations for the non-zero clients if it's not already the case.